Education with Wacomico County Public Schools. It's good to see you again, Melissa. It's been a while. Thank you for coming, and I will turn the floor over to you.
Thank you, Gina. And I bring greetings to all from Wycomico County Public Schools. Thank you for inviting me to speak to the advisory committee about our successful mixed delivery system that we have with our public schools and our private providers. Our school system had a similar vision to the AIB and, of course, MSDE. We wanted to embrace and partner with our child care community programs and Head Start since the early 2000s. And we were able to do that in such a small way, but now we have really seen our vision come to fruition and make it a reality for us. So I'm glad I get to share that and celebrate Wycomico County Schools and our community partners. We started back in the early 2000s by building our Judy Center partnerships to 40 partners. And now we are at 4 Judy Centers. We grew that from 1 to 4 this current year. So we've always had a strong partnership with community childcare partners, our family childcare, and our larger program sites, such as Warwick Community College. They have a private program that we partner with. So let's see, providers receive free materials with us of instruction. And we do that through free childcare professional development that we hold during their times that they're available, such as the evening and on Saturdays. And the materials that we provide give them the access to immediately put in all the developmentally appropriate strategies that we shared with them and provide all of those strategies for their pre-K 3s and their pre-K 4s. Many through the Judy Center funding and other grant opportunities that they've taken advantage of prior to pre-K expansion grant, they align their curriculums with ours in Wycomico County, and currently we're using the Frog Street and the Connect for Learning curriculums for our pre-K 3 and pre-K 4. So they don't have to be an MOU partner with us. They voluntarily did that prior to the AIB's big vision with MSDE and our school system. So it was really a natural progression for us to invite them to join us as full partners through the pre-K expansion grant funding and to sign the MOU with us. Our leadership team, starting with our superintendents and our directors, believe in our partners being embraced and supported by all the departments for the Wycomico schools. Our enrollment and tech department, along with early childhood, of course, built an online registration program giving parents equitable access to public pre-K programs and also the public providers that signed the MOU. And currently we have 4 private providers on the Eastern Shore in Wycomico County who signed that MOU. Our registration advertisements include all public and private sites with hyperlinks that go right to the program so parents can make an informed decision about where they want their pre-kindergarten 3 or 4 child. Parents enter the registration portal online and then they choose their program of their choice after they've done some of that research. Their attendance at the private or public program is absolutely up to the parent's choice, of course, until one of the programs become filled. And I will talk to you a little bit about that as well. So currently we have 2 large centers and we have 2 family child care centers. We have 11 public sites that parents can choose from. The students enrolled at the private sites become a part of our digital files for our school system. As the early childhood supervisor, I can monitor the public and private enrollment I monitor the collection of income verification forms. I can see the number of Tier 1 students entering into our mixed delivery system. I can see if they've qualified through the poverty guidelines, if they are a special education student, a homeless student, or also an ML student, the multi-language learner, just using that one online system for our county. I also monitor the site capacities, and once a public school or a private program fills to capacity, I work with both maybe the private director and the school principal to find open slots for all of our Tier 1 students. So then that's when our transportation department becomes involved, and our student and family services department with our pupil personnel workers, they get involved to ensure the students are transported to the closest private or public program with the space. Just recently, I worked on a case with a public student. He entered, or the family registered into a public school, but we were already filled. So I worked with our private provider to find a space for this student, and our transportation department found a bus that is going by the private program. And so that all worked out, that it's very equitable. We're sharing the students, and they're already enrolled through our PowerSchool, our X2 system. So it was just so easy to transfer the file internally to send it over to our private program. So this child is getting the same curriculums, the same assessments. We have early childhood coaches that have responsibilities to ensure that their curriculums are they're up to date, they have the correct materials, and then also doing the correct assessments as well. So that we're really proud of that effort that we've done with our private schools. What else did I want to tell you? Let's see. Oh, one really positive that our child care programs wanted for me to share is that the parents at the private centers no longer have to go through enrollment again for kindergarten. It's seamless. They roll right into either a pre-K4 program at private, or if they're ready to come over after pre-K3, they can roll right into a pre-K4 program, but they are enrolled for kindergarten already. And that has been really a positive feedback piece for childcare providers and also our parents. Now, once they're enrolled, sometimes our students have challenges academically or behaviorally, and they receive services from the public school special education department and also our Salisbury University partner, Lower Shore Early Childhood Mental Health Consultation Program. And our special educators, our school psychologists, they visit to provide that input and intervention, just some ideas that they may need for the students at their private programs, just as they would for our public school programs. So we're really proud of that as well. This school year, the private directors, pre-K3 and pre-K4 staff, now have Wicomico County Public Schools email addresses, which has made such a difference for them getting onto the digital program that we offer, using our iPads, using our laptops. This has enabled them to use the digital platform of Clever and enter their data into the new early learning assessment program on the Renaissance platform. So now when I am looking at the data, I have the public and private children's data ready to go for those school principals who will be receiving the children for kindergarten. Now this year, this is the last step that we wanted to get to. They also enter their daily attendance And the students at private childcares are now getting the digital report card, just as the public school children are. And so when they enter into the public schools, principals, teachers, they have that data right at their fingertips as they transition into kindergarten. And really, that was our last step over the 3 years of developing our mixed delivery system for Wycomico County Public Schools. Thank you
Thank
for
you,
letting me
Melissa.
share all that great news.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you so much. It's great to hear all of the amazing things you guys are doing in Wacomico County. And it definitely sounds like, you guys have worked really hard. Like you said, you answered my question. I was going to ask how long it's taken this transition. So you said 3 years. So,
It's been 3 years, and I feel like this mid-year is when we did that last step
uh-huh.
to get them fully into the system with like monitoring their attendance. As we know, where MSDE is sending out all the strategies, they
Mhm.
want to be a part of that, and now they are, and they're following the same policies as our school system with the attendance policy. They talk to me all the time, I have a child missing so many days, what should I do? What do you do? So it's really like a great partnership, talking about those high level professional questions together, and how should we approach something with a family.
I love that. Thank you so much.
You're
Pillar one,
welcome.
does anyone have any questions or comments? Or our guests? Anybody have any questions or comments?
Yeah, I just have a wonderful comment that with Comico, that is amazing. I do like the seamless enrollment to kindergarten because I think we do not have that yet in Howard County because they have to kind of re-enroll when they go to kindergarten again. And I do like the digital reporting of the attendance, which is amazing. It's gonna cut a lot of the paperwork and the I also love the ELA. And in Howard, we also use the C Connect for Learning, and that's what I use in my program. And
Yes.
I am so impressed with that. This is my second year of doing that C4 learning. And we
Mhm.
also have the professional development with the public school, but we don't have the transportation like you have. And maybe that's something that we could, kind of look into, may talk to them about. It's a real problem because it's hard to find bus drivers and stuff in this, where we're at. So hopefully we'll get there. But thank you so much. I mean,
Thank you.
amazing work in Wicombico. Thank
Thank
you.
you so much, Ruby.
Thank you, Melissa, for being
Thank you,
here.
Gina.
We appreciate it. It's good to see you again. Ruby, do you want to introduce our next guest, or would you like me to do
Oh, you can go ahead,
that? Okay.
Andrea.
Our next guest is Rudy Zellman. Rudy is the program director for pre-K
Oh,
expansion.
sorry,
But
Gina. It's
go ahead.
Andrea Cersei.
Oh, sorry. Oh my goodness. Sorry. Go ahead.
I know I was late. I was late.
Go ahead. No, yeah, you go ahead. You do it.
Okay.
You have
We
the
have
updated agenda.
Andrea Cersei. She's with the Judy Center, and she's just gonna come over and announce the 25th anniversary of the Judy Center in Wicomico. Thank you.
So just to clarify, I'm Andrea Cersei. I'm the Director of Early Learning in Prince George's County Public Schools, and I do apologize for being late. We are celebrating the 25th anniversary of the Judy Centers. So I'm actually still here at Rosa Parks Elementary in Adelphi, where we had Governor Moore in attendance and the Hoyer family. So the celebration just recently ended. And so Prince George's County Public Schools as the flagship of the Judy Centers, named after Judy Hoyer, who was a Prince George's County Public Schools teacher. We have expanded our Judy Centers to now 6, servicing throughout the entire county, and we are really excited to be servicing over 400 children as a part of our Judy Centers, and we are really excited about the partnerships that we are able to establish through the Judy Centers, and we're looking forward for many years to come to build on the legacy that Judy Hoyer has left for across the state. So for everybody, all of my LEA colleagues that are on here, congratulations to you guys too for 25 years with the Judy Centers.
Thank you so much. I know we see the benefits of our Judy Centers here in Washington County, and we always say that it's so great to get to see those friends early and from birth. And I love going to see all of their events and playgroups and spaces that they have. So we value that partnership here in Washington County. And congratulations to you. And I hope the celebration was great.
It
And we're
was
so glad.
amazing.
Good. And we're so glad you were able to pop on and join us, and we appreciate your time.
Yes, thank you.
You're very welcome. All right, so now we're moving back on to, and I apologize about the confusion. We're moving back to Rudy Zellman. Rudy is the Program Director for Pre-K Expansion Fund for Educational Excellence in Baltimore City. So Rudy, I will give you your speaking time.
Thank you so much, and congratulations to all the Judy Center partners on here. That is amazing, and yeah, thank you so much for having me here. I feel like I already learned so much from just hearing Melissa speak, so honored to be with you all today. As Gina said, my name is Rudy Zellman. I serve as the Program Director of Pre-K Expansion at the Fund for Educational Excellence, which is a nonprofit in Baltimore City. In this role, I work really closely with our community-based childcare providers and also Baltimore City Public Schools, as well as other partners to advance the Blueprint's ambitious goals around mixed delivery pre-K expansion in Baltimore City. So I'm pleased to share just some highlights of what has been working on the ground in Baltimore. While we really consider this the start, there's lots of work ahead. We've been seeing steady momentum towards building a strong mixed delivery system. This school year, Baltimore City added 6 new community-based providers, the most in the state. That's over 100 new pre-K seats, while also retaining every provider from the previous year. So we now have 18 childcare programs and 5 family childcare homes through the Aspire program that are together offering more than 500 pre-K seats alongside Baltimore City Public Schools. And I think what's most exciting is the diversity of our system. So families in Baltimore can access high quality public pre-K in childcare centers, Head Starts, public charter schools, family childcare homes, and Baltimore City Public Schools classrooms. So a model that truly reflects the vision of mixed delivery. And I would say this progress has been driven by intentional local investment and really strong collaboration among partners, including, but certainly not limited to, Baltimore City Public Schools, the Baltimore City Child Care Resource Center, the Maryland State Child Care Association, our local philanthropic community, and many others. So a few key things, key efforts that have made a real difference and that I'll highlight today. The first is providing targeted technical assistance. We put out a survey about a year ago to our childcare providers, and what we learned from that was that expansion was not going to happen organically. Providers, with all that they have going on in just their day-to-day, really needed that additional hands-on support. So we invested in individualized TA that helped providers prepare to become successful pre-K providers, including understanding the financial implications of the pre-K expansion grant, setting goals, and building strong community partnerships. And through our partnership with MSCCA, we also offered grant writing support to ensure that the application itself wasn't a barrier to participation. Of the 6 new Baltimore City providers that were awarded the pre-K expansion grant this year, 5 of them came through this cohort, and nearly all but one said that they would not have applied without this support. We've also prioritized ongoing support for pre-K expansion grantees once they get the grant, because we know that sustainability and continuity really matter, especially for the families served. We don't want programs to get the grant and then they can't sustain it and it's not stable for families. So through partnerships with MSCCA and the Baltimore City Child Care Resource Center, first-year grantees are receiving support with grant management, ongoing professional development, and preparation for eventual accreditation. And then we have also prioritized addressing Excel's barriers. So only about 1/3 of our programs in Baltimore are rated in Excel's 3 or higher. So we're investing in capacity building. We know that moving up through the Excel's process is really difficult to navigate without that additional support. So through the Baltimore City Child Care Resource Center, we've launched a coaching cohort to help programs navigate Excels and raise their quality ratings with the goal of expanding eligibility for future pre-K participation. And we've also really focused on strengthening collaboration between city schools and community-based providers. At the fund, we convene quarterly pre-K collaboratives that brings together all the providers, including our community-based childcare providers and Baltimore City Schools at one table to share resources and tackle shared challenges. These meetings have spurred joint enrollment campaigns, shared outreach materials. Our partners at City Schools have helped providers connect with their local Judy centers and public schools to help build those relationships and streamline referrals where we can. Still a long way to go, but we're seeing a lot of progress there with those referrals happening. We've also created readable materials for families where they can see details of all of the pre-K programs in the community-based settings, and those have been posted on the Baltimore City's website under their pre-K enrollment page, as well as through other local partners like Live Baltimore. And then finally, our local ECAC and philanthropic community continue to invest in data to help guide strategic decision making around our pre-K expansion. So our recently released landscape analysis, among many, many critical findings, identified areas of our city that are most in need of additional pre-K programming and early learning opportunities. An upcoming family survey and an analysis of kindergartners entering school without prior care will hopefully further illuminate where and how to expand access. So we're definitely seeing steady progress. Like I said, we consider this, the start of continuing to build on this momentum. Challenges certainly remain. Philanthropy has really filled gaps in the absence of, sustainable state funding for the pre-K hubs. The current grant timeline makes it more difficult to really collaborate on shared enrollment when providers are finding out about their grant past when the LEA is doing their enrollment push. And structural issues with the pre-K grant, like underfunding and inconsistent Tier 1 inclusion for multilingual learners and students with disabilities, that threatens to slow momentum. And so, there are lots of challenges that I know everyone on this call is very familiar with. I know the state's pre-K systems analysis work group is really tackling head on, which is amazing. And we're, really proud of the progress we're seeing in this city. And I think building a model for expanding pre-K through a real mixed delivery system. So again, I really appreciate this opportunity to kind of give a brief high-level overview of where we're seeing success and also get to hear from colleagues around the state. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rudy. It's great to hear all of the things you're doing. And I love how you said, you surveyed providers and you tried to find like what kind of barriers they were having and how you could help them. And I think it's important too, like you said, the ongoing support, because you definitely, once they get the grant, we want them to be able to keep the grant. And sometimes that can be a struggle. And the accreditation and Excels piece, we know from the public school system, it's a huge task. And so, I know with private providers, that's also a huge task. So I love those tidbits that you shared. Pillar 1, does anyone else have anything that they would like to say, or our guests?
Rudy, also have that mixed delivery work group that you have in Baltimore that meets. Is it every month?
Yes, every month. And that is a group specifically of our ECAC. The ECAC developed a work group just to focus on mixed delivery. So that's been a lot of this progress has happened through the connections made at that table.
Thank you. Anybody else? All right, so we will move on to our next guest speaker, someone who I know very well, that I am lucky enough to work with every day, my partner in crime, so to speak, here in Washington County Public Schools. Kelly Longerbeam is our coordinator for early learning here with Washington County Public Schools. So Kelly, I will turn it over to you.
Good evening, everybody. It's so nice to be here and see your smiling faces and sending love all the way down to PG County to Andrea. We wish we could have been there. Our multi-site coordinator had a field trip and I am here, but sending love because we love our Judy centers and just so thankful for them. But just first off, when Gina came to me to talk about thinking of our mixed delivery system, the key word that came to my mind was relationships, because that is truly what it's all about. And thinking back 8 years ago, we had started universal pre-K here in Washington County for our 4-year-olds because when we were looking at our readiness data, only about 30% of our students were showing they were ready for kindergarten. So we expanded like crazy. And as we expanded, we also know that it hurt some of our childcares because it did take kids. So, we have worked so hard to build those relationships back with them because we know it takes a village, because we can service 4-year-olds, but we don't have space for 3-year-olds. We need our community partners and our private providers to be in this together with us. So thinking about those relationships, Gina and I have worked very closely for these past 8 years, trying to get back those partnerships, those relationships. And, that's what we keep telling them. We're all in this together. We're Washington County. These are all of our kids. So thinking where we are right now with our private providers, we actually did go up. Gaining 20 seats is a win when you're thinking about each year. Even if it's 20 seats, that's 20 other kids that are getting that opportunity. So we have partnerships right now with Head Start. So they went from having 1 class to 2 class this year. And then also with Bill Hudson with the Child Care Alliance, we have 2 in-home child care providers. So we're continuously trying to find more. But when we think about relationships, one of the things that we really like to do is do visits to all of our sites, kind of check-in visits at the beginning of the year, see how things are going. We always feel welcomed when we go. A lot of times we like to bring some learning materials with us just to check in, see where they're at, what are some needs, what are some things that they're maybe some challenges, how can we help support? And then thinking about if they have any concerns, maybe with students with special needs, if they need some ML supports, what can we do to provide that? And then even having some of our BCBAs, having some of our special ed staff go into the homes, go into the centers to work with them. And then, you think about these visits, you also have to provide that professional learning opportunities for our private providers as well, because that's key. Just like we do, to help us grow, we need that opportunity to help them grow as well. So we have looked at, meeting with leadership teams to kind of see what are some things that Head Start needs, what are some things that we can do some trainings with. So we've had the opportunity to do trainings, to do book studies. And what's been really nice is that we have done even COK hours for some of those trainings as well, because that's just, that's a nice incentive for them as well to keep those certification pieces with it. Then also just anytime we get emails with professional learning opportunities, sharing it with our partners as well, especially with all happening with the science of reading right now, like, hey, don't miss out on this. This is a great way just to learn more about it. So that's a great piece with learning those things as well. And then thinking about the collaboration piece, I know I heard Melissa talking about the application. We actually list not only all of our WCPS sites on our application, we also list our private providers as well. And then anytime we get phone calls wanting opportunities for 3-year-olds, we send them our way to our privates as well, just to say, hey, check them out. They might have seats still, especially we kind of keep a close watch on how many seats they still have available. So we can kind of know too, like, hey, they still have seats, give them a call. With those pieces of it. We also know how important it is to have those transition meetings to the school system. So we really work hard with their staff to have those transition meetings. And what works really nice is that they have the same aligned report card that we're also using with our students that they have as well. So it makes that nice consistency piece when they're coming from there to us, to kindergarten or to pre-K, that they can see those opportunities with that. Another thought is that anytime we are having transition events at our schools coming into kindergarten, so we have some like kindergarten readiness events happening, we make sure that their students are extended those invites to kindergarten as well, because it makes that warm handoff to those pieces. And then Gina and I have even gone into Head Start and have done some transition events in their site. And what was really cool is we partnered with our Judy Center for that piece of it. So we kind of did a Build-A-Bear stuffed animals to the Judy Center, worked with the kids. They did those pieces. We got to share expectations with the families of what kindergarten looks like, plus to that opportunity for families to ask questions like things about lunch and you know what I mean? Because those are worries that parents have. So that was a really nice opportunity to have that. And then what's really cool is they all got a pizza to go when they left. So all the families, and we have seen our participation with that over the past couple of years has like skyrocketed. So that's just a really cool opportunity. So Melissa, you will want to do that. But it's just a nice partnership with them with those pieces of it. And then something that, is really nice because we have those relationships and opportunities with them is that, when one of our in-homes, we were trying to problem solve how can we meet some of the special ed needs, and we regrouped with our birth to K staff, and we're doing kind of like a rotation model within that childcare now. So those are great opportunities because if you don't have those relationships, it's not going to work. We have to trust each other. We have to value each other with all pieces of it. And then also just thinking about, we're always trying to find more partners, more providers, more people to come on board with us. We've actually went out to centers. We've went out to local churches that have, childcare is there, trying to see, hey, we want to do this. How can we help? So, I mean, we are literally like, even if we're, different places, we're like, hey, you have a childcare. Are you interested in this? Because we need our partners. We need people to join us for this work because it's going to take a village. And that is what we are doing here in Washington County.
That actually just happened the other day. We stopped for a coffee and we saw a childcare provider. We were like, hey, what, just trying to chat her up and see. So thank you, Kelly. Anyone have any questions or comments for Kelly?
Hi, Kelly.
Hey, Ruby, it's good to see you.
Thank you for coming. Yeah, so the question that I have is, how does the marketing work? How do you reach families? Because that is the biggest thing that I'm hearing from a lot of the families, especially multilingual families, is that I don't know about this pre-K program until now. So how do we reach them, and how do we get the information out that there's this program, the
Sure.
pre-K?
Absolutely. So we have done a lot with marketing here in Washington County to advertise pre-K to the point where, we have billboard type of things. We have signs out. We've put on frog suits and went out to like the downtown area and waved signs about pre-K, I feel like the tax person, but like trying to advertise as much as we can to say, hey, free pre-K, like this is your opportunity. Like we go to as many community events as we can happening, whether it is for community events at the library. If we have our Bester Community of Hope, they're having an event. Like we trunk or treats, we send items to things like that. Any type of way that we can get that information out. And then honestly, one of the best ways we know too is social media, just putting that information out there, because sometimes, you share it once and then an hour later, it's been shared 300 times already. And what's been really nice when you're thinking about our ML families as well, we have an international welcome center here in Washington County Public Schools that any student, that is an ML, they can actually go there and they support the application process, the enrollment process. They help them gather documents, materials, resources, and it's just a really nice support system too.
Oh, I
Yeah.
like that international welcome center. That's
Mhm.
amazing. So
It's
how does that
great.
look like?
What?
How does it look like, the international
So it's
welcome
actually
center?
in one of our largest elementary schools, and it is a kind of like, it's a classroom, and they have staff in there that are supporting all piece of any type of enrollment that comes in like that, and they help register them all.
From what age is it?
Oh, from pre-K to 12th grade,
Oh, wow.
system-wide.
That is amazing.
And they even have partnered with the local college to do some ML classes for even adults and things like that too.
Oh, that's even more amazing. That's wonderful. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, it's definitely a great thing that we have that here. And she's not joking about the frog suits. We walked around and put signs up in all of our local businesses, and
We've made doorknob hangers, so we even hang them places and things like that just to get
bookmarks and little free libraries. This year we went around to some of the little free libraries and put bookmarks and applications and all kinds of things. So we definitely try to get the word out. And and like Kelly said, we go to every event that we possibly can and talk about pre-K, and we have a lot of fun doing it. But
we even did a point where we even did like a at the local movie theater, we did a little pre-K video that ran in like the preview thing. So that was really cool as well. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So any other questions from the committee or our other guests for Kelly? Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Kelly.
I was gonna bring it back to Melissa and
Yeah.
ask her, what is the journey like for the 3 year that they were developing all these programs? Did they have bumps, or was it easy, or how does, because the information sharing is wonderful because we can share it with the other LEAs.
Yes. Sure. There were many challenges because when you are working, like at a central office of a public school, you have to also educate and inform the different departments, such as our tech department and all the men and women who are building the fields in the system for our private providers. They want to know why are we doing this, and how will they have access, and what about the security of this program when it is outside of our school. And then that led to me requesting, could they have the Wycomico County Public School email? And can they go into a secure site such as Clever, which then holds the Renaissance program for the early learning assessment that holds the C4L digital files for us. So it does take time. It went slower than I really wanted it to go, but I respected that the other departments also had to build the vision, and never at the leadership with the superintendents and the directors, never was there a hesitation with them, but the system, the transportation system, the communication systems for how will we monitor capacity levels. We built that. And in 2020, when we had COVID and we did go virtual, that really was our stepping stone to bring them on with us. And we saw that how this really could help us, because we wanted our children to be in public, but also to have safe care after that programming, and we wanted to stay in touch with our childcare providers. So sure, there were bumps, but nothing that ever made us say, we can't do this. We want more partners to come on board with us. And we're a very large county on the Eastern Shore, but we know we're smaller, when we're talking about like Baltimore City and Baltimore County.
Yes, because in Howard County, I'm also doing the C4 learning,
Yes.
but I cannot access, we have Canvas. I
Yeah.
cannot access it because I do not have the I guess a public school email, and I'm considered outside of the public school.
Yes.
So that is wonderful that it's just one solution fix the whole problem, and it make it easier. I'm also doing the ELA and the Pro Ladder outside by
great.
myself. So it is a little bit challenging because it's not easy to navigate, especially the first year that I'm doing it. So
We agree.
we're doing the testing for the Pro Ladder because it's November 14 is the final day for the fall
Next week it's
assessment,
coming.
which is
Yes.
yeah, but I'm doing it on my own. But Wicomico, you house them in the public school system, so they have that support already that they can do it. It's hard when you're doing it, trying to figure things out on your own. How
That
to do
is
assessment and
true.
stuff. It
And
is wonderful, though. I mean, that is great that we're sharing the assessment with the public school, so they will actually know where the
Yeah.
kids are at, and then they can transition seamlessly into kindergarten.
Gordon, that's
So
right.
yeah,
Yes.
thank you so much for sharing.
Yes, you can reach out anytime, Ruby. Happy to help.
Thank you so much. Anyone else? Okay. So I just want to take a second and just thank all of our guest speakers, Melissa and Andrea and Rudy and Kelly, for joining us tonight. I definitely think this is an ongoing conversation that's going to keep happening, and like there are really great things happening, and there's still some bumps in the road, and I know we're all navigating all of these things. And I know I always tell Kelly after these meetings, it's always great to hear what other counties are doing because we learn from each other. And I think it's so fascinating when we get on here. That's probably one of my favorite things about these meetings, is just to hear what everybody else is doing, because we're all in the same boat, so to speak. And so it's really just great to hear from everybody. And we appreciate your time. We know everyone is busy, and it's dark so early. I just looked out and it's like pitch black, and it's so hard because it's only 6 o'clock. But yes, we just appreciate it. And does anyone else have anything before we close our meeting? I'll give you the gift of a few minutes back if that's okay with the AIB. And if no one else has anything to say. Okay, so our next meeting will not be until February. We take December and January off for the holiday season. So with that being said, we hope that everyone has a wonderful holiday season and a wonderful winter, and hopefully, not too much snow or anything like that. But like I said, again, we just appreciate all of our guests for joining us, and I appreciate the AIB, and to my fellow Pillar One friends, I appreciate your time as well. And anybody else, last chance.
Nice seeing all of you.
Something that I can share with the Pillar One is the pre-K work group that MSDE is working on, and also the change team, which is focused on the career lattice. So I'm part of both. So I just want to share that with the Pillar One. And Alex can close us out.
Thank you.
Happy to do so. Thank you, Gina. Thank you, Ruby, for guiding us this afternoon, evening. And once again, echoing Gina, thank you very, very much to our guests for your time and for sharing your insights with us and your experiences. Really valuable to have this conversation. Looking forward to more of it to come.
Absolutely.
Thank you all for being here, and we'll see you in February.
Thank you. We appreciate you all. Have a good night.